Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of the 𝗕𝗏𝗧𝗕𝗏 Show. Yeah, I was just live 10 minutes ago doing an FPL episode, but here I am back again to discuss the Champions League, which ended not ended, but the group stages ended yesterday.
Yeah,
I think it was a great group stage. I think great surprises, wonderful surprises in the group. Good, some of the matches were really interesting, which obviously we expect from a Champions League. When we have best of the best in a league competing for the best prize ever.
for sure.
To discuss and review the group stages for the Champions League, I have Uday from the Loudmouth Show. Uday, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me again.
How would you assess a 6-on-6 performance?
I think it's remarkable, tremendous, amazing how we are the first English club to win all six matches in the group
Yeah,
phases. I think this is a huge achievement,
yeah,
and I hope we carry the same stride ahead in the knockout stages and beat everyone's ass out.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know, um, Before we do begin, obviously, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe to the Late Winner Show for keep supporting us, give us those likes. Definitely helps us with the UTA algorithm and everything.
Yeah.
But obviously helps us so that we can produce more content like this, and hit the like button if you like what you see on the screen right now. But let's get into the details. I think it was a. I think I know you would agree on that I think we had a uh, good Champions League campaign in terms of the matches that we had, and the results that we had. Did you think that do you think United can can uh, can can push into the latter stages of the knockout rounds? Obviously, we had those 3 games or 4 games probably under Ole, and then the next 2 games under and in both like different interim managers and totally different teams. But
Yeah.
what now that you've seen at least a couple of games under Ranić, what do you think he might bring into the latter stages of the competition where we might get a big team, and it might just be that we get PSG again?
Well, I wouldn't really assess the latest performance that you gave against young boys. I felt every English club went in with their academy and young prospective players, probably because they want to rest the starting 11 for the Premier League games. But if you look at the current philosophy, which is being echoed at Old Trafford, I strongly feel United have enough quality in them to decimate teams out and probably go to the quarterfinals or the semifinals. Um, uh, Thereon, I feel there are better teams than them. Definitely, I feel Chelsea, Real Madrid, Liverpool are some of the clubs that I feel have a better opportunity at hand, because these teams have been delving in possession football, and they have a much better system in place since many years, which is very consistent. So I think it is a matter of a habit. We talk about developing a habit in 21 days. I feel United still have a lot to achieve, and they need to show that consistency on the pitch.
Yeah. And what about the runners up in the group? Villarreal obviously defeated Atalanta just today, and they are into the round of 16. You would feel that maybe Unai Emery should have gone for a Europa League spot rather than actually for a Champions League spot, because he's much better over there. But
Uh,
they are in the Champions League round of 16, and I think based on their performances that have been in, I mean, I've not been very impressed with the performances in La Liga,
yeah,
but what really, I think it's a good organized defense that he has. He has a structure within the team, whatever he has got, and he plays that really good, defensive minded football. And he
for
knows
sure.
what kind of players he has, and then based on the players that he has, he tries to make the situation in that. And even today's game, if you saw, I don't know if you saw that, but it was kind of like a similar way. Atalanta was more dominant, but Villarreal being that organized defense. What do you think that they upset, or is this the furthest that they can go in the competition?
I think they can definitely upset teams, especially with how Unai Emery has been. He's had a good luck with his with the results as of late. I think after quitting Arsenal, he's definitely stepped up massively. But if we focus on the players, I think I would like to talk about many players. Like you spoke about the defensive regime, they're very astute. very organized, very cohesive. I especially have a liking for Pau Torres and even an experienced veteran in the form of 𝗕𝗏𝗪. These players bring in massive experience, and they were trying to take out their runners easily. I think I watched the first half and second half. I felt first half they were more convincing in terms of showing a better defensive stride. But they were trying to get onto Atlanta's end as well, on different transitions. But yeah, I think their pace of football is relatively slower than Atlanta, and it's a massive, massive win for them that they were able to subdue them and they overcame whatever limitations they had. Though there are many limitations, they are, I feel, in the middle of the pitch, they are very prone to counter pressing. They are easily taken out when they are trying to build up from behind is where I feel they need a much better midline too. Capu is anyways doing his job. He's done really well, I feel, for the stature that he has reached after leaving Tottenham and other clubs. But yeah, I think focusing on Atlanta, I think hard luck to them. They started the game really well. I felt against Zapata, Ilicic, they showed great stride in finding the right markers. They were trying to link up well ahead. Zapata had a couple of opportunities, I remember, but still he couldn't capitalize anything out of that. So yeah, I think hard luck and the way they conceded the first goal was it was horrendous. I didn't expect 𝗕𝗏𝗪 again, another veteran of the game, to step up ahead on a high line, and he lost his focus, and there was a huge gap left for Palomino and Toloi to cover. So yeah,
Yeah, I think that's well summed up. Let's move on to the other group where we had the oil money in that group, PSG versus City.
yeah,
I really didn't think at the start of the Champions League campaign that PSG would be finishing second. I really thought that the star power that they got, the squad that they have built, I think PSG were going to go 6 out of 6. They dropped points against Club Brugge. They dropped points against RB Leipzig. They dropped points against City.
yeah,
Basically, everyone that they played against. And I don't think, really don't think that PSG right now. I mean, it might just be that they still. I mean, Pochettino's not going anywhere by the end of the season. They're still going to win Liga and probably any other competition that they play in. It
yeah,
probably not this one, but they. I just feel that there is no chemistry in that team. Everyone is just playing solely for their own, price. That I am the best player in this team, and everyone should go around me, and everything should go around me. But it's just not working for them. uh, do you feel the same way, or do you feel like maybe something can change in the next couple of months, and when they come up against these big sides they can defeat them? Because even if you look back at the games against City, which is probably the better team, we shouldn't probably count Leipzig, given the form that they had in the competition. They, even when they played in Paris, I don't think they were convincing enough to actually say that they won that particular match convincingly. I think City was still the better team, and they just took their chances. PSG. When they came back to the Etihad, I think City definitely showed who's the better team, who has the better chemistry in the team, even though they don't play with the number 9.
yeah.
It just shows you, like, how far PSG are. But do you think it can change in the next couple of months?
Look, they are very unpredictable as a team. I feel PSG, even with Tuchel, they were pretty unpredictable. They went till the finals of the Champions League and they didn't win it. Um, it is something which is sort of, you hit a conundrum when you think of such great managers like Pochettino and Tuchel trying to manage teams with players who are very star-studded. I feel they receive a very luxurious treatment. You can compare Lufthansa with Air India. This is the same comparison that we'll raise if we compare a club like PSG with Club Brugge, maybe. Again, this is something which is not in the hands of the players, I feel, because they're anyways being surrounded by other players. It's about the influence they have on the senior players have on one another. Messi has had a rift with Pochettino. A couple of other senior players have had. Sergio Ramos was also pretty uncertain in terms of coming, or were they trying to sell him or something of that sort. But I still feel he doesn't own the dressing room completely. He has to prove a mark. He has to maintain a certain decorum within the dressing room, which doesn't reflect right on the pitch. If you look at their training videos, I think there's a massive difference with the way you see these underdogs train, and a massive difference with how these PSG players have secluded certain youth players from their training regime. You'll see Messi training with other senior players, but you won't see that cohesiveness which you need as a team. Look at Liverpool; they are one of the most strongest teams mentally, psychologically. They are the strongest team in the world right now. Despite whatever squad leaks we have, we still have a lot of strength mentally. So I feel if you are strong mentally, that is where your game improves physically. So that's my 2 cents on PSG's performances. And again, with a lot of star-studded status, they're definitely winning matches. But how long will this continue for? Is the question.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I don't think they have clicked up until now. This particular in this particular season at the moment, I think Messi is still trying to find his groove within that PSG team. I think it's still Mbappe is probably the player who's still performing at the level that we want, from him.
For sure.
City, obviously, as I said, I didn't expect them to finish first in the group, but they did. And again, Guardiola being Guardiola, I think he's probably the best manager ever. He is
Yeah.
going to be he's going to be called the best manager ever. Do you think that finally he can get his hands on this elusive trophy, or you still think that maybe he's still lacking certain things based on the other teams that we've seen in the competition?
Like, to be honest, I still feel Manchester City are the best club in the world. Um, Despite you might bring up Real Madrid, you might bring up Liverpool, I still feel City have more chances of winning the Champions League this season. It's because of the consistency, because of the system that they've laid out season in season out. They've been throwing in more performances, so obviously the stake is more towards them. And I'm sure this season is going to be another English club winning the Champions League title. I don't see Chelsea or Liverpool. Maybe Liverpool may have some chance, but they are. I feel City have slightly more chances than any other English club at the moment. Of course, you have the likes of Real Madrid and upsets like Ajax, who have been performing tremendously, with Sebastian Haller turning out to be the highest scorer for them. I remember when he departed West Ham as well, he scored overhead before going. Shows how much vigor and dedicated he was, even with West Ham. But I still
Yeah.
feel he's done massively well for himself at Ajax again. And yeah, with the likes of Cristiano Ronaldo, Salah, all these runners turning up big time in the scoring department, I feel the competition is just about to get stiffer. And yeah,
I think so. I completely agree with you on that point. And you mentioned about Ajax, so let's probably move over there as well. Do you think Ajax are probably still the underdogs of the competition? Because I definitely still feel so that they are still not getting the respect that they deserve. I
yeah,
think they had Dortmund, they have Sporting Lisbon, who were the Portuguese champions, and I think Besiktas, who probably who are probably the weakest team, and I guess their form from last season has definitely dipped, and that was showing in the competition as well. But they
hmm,
were they were in 6 out of 6. They I think they scored say 7 goals, I think, against Dortmund in the entire competition,
the
which
two
says
legs,
a
yeah,
lot. Yeah, which says a lot. I mean, you mentioned about Sebastian Haller. He departed West Ham, and people were saying, yeah, why was this guy even brought to West Ham? Because he basically did not do anything. Why didn't he turn up to West Ham?
yeah,
He went to Ajax and he started performing. You have Dusan Tadic, you have David Neres, you have Anthony, who's this up and coming wonder kid. All these great kids who who we might see become the superstars in the coming future. They are
yeah,
playing at that level. You might argue that Dortmund were not very strong at that moment, and because of that they were defeated 4-0 or 3-0 in the competition. But I still see, I think, you rewind a couple of years ago when Ajax went to that semi-final run, and if it was an Ajax versus Liverpool final, I still feel Liverpool might still have won it, but I think it would have been a far more better competition than what Spurs provided to Liverpool. And I still see something like that happening again this season. I think they can easily defeat the likes of, Bayern Munich, Liverpool, Real Madrid again. It might just happen. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm having a lot of expectations from them. But I just see when you follow their campaign, even when they play Eredivisie, at the Eredivisie League, and you see that there's you again you can argue that there is not enough competition for them, but you still can't score 5-6 goals every game. That is how the competition over there, that is how the level of Ajax is at that in that league. And Ajax definitely showed in the competition as well when they won 6 out of 6.
For sure. I sincerely feel that Ajax, again, the kind of philosophy that they echo on the pitch is tremendously vigorous and very aggressive. Ten Hag has, trained his men to press and attack the ball all the time. Um, that is again something which I like in such teams which are considered underdogs. Again, I will consider Ajax still to be an underdog, even though they might not be the worst team that are qualifying for the group stages. For the knockouts, I feel Villarreal are a notch below them, but I still feel that yeah, we need to look at how they've been performing in the last couple of seasons as well. They reached the semi-finals and they got knocked out against Tottenham, and that was quite a freak goal from Lucas Moura, in that semi-final as well. I feel they were unlucky for the performances that they gave during that match as well. They performed superbly. I feel they still had the elite, in that season. I think this was the 18-19 season or 19-20 season. I don't remember, but yeah, I think Ajax as a team are tremendous. Liverpool faced them last season as well in the group stages, and they gave us a very tough competition, even though we came out victorious in the end. Um, but yeah, I think good things for. I think if they have uh, surpassed the group stages, I think even if they reach to the quarterfinals, it will be quite a statement to make with such compelling league, which has turned the tide, especially with COVID coming in. I think big clubs like Borussia Dortmund have already been knocked out. So I think they've already made a mark by going through and sailing through the group stages. So.
Yeah. Let's move on to the next group. Or not next group. I feel like I clubbed this question into one. But do you think Bayern Munich and Liverpool
Yeah.
are the favorites to win the title? I think I would love. I'm happy that Liverpool did not finish second, because I don't want to see a Bayern Munich versus Liverpool in the round of 16. I think that the level of football that both of them are playing, I think it deserves to be in a final, not before that, because I still feel we might see the best in the final of them, and we might have like a really really good final if Liverpool or Bayern Munich both go into that final. But who do you think are the favorites to win the title between Bayern Munich and Liverpool? Or do you think maybe there are other contenders that we might part to?
Um. Well, they just defeated Barcelona in a very ordinary fashion. I feel both teams hold enough capacity to win the Champions League title this season. But I've just seen I feel Bayern Munich over the seasons. I've seen that they have been bottling their knockout fixtures as well. Quite a couple of times against Real Madrid, they did that. Against Liverpool, they did that. So I feel it depends on the day that they are facing the team. I feel it'll depend on how and what system will they follow. It depends on if the players are feeling right, mentally, and if they have the will to give it an extra notch, because it is really really about mentality all the more. Um, when you are facing a team at such a huge stage, I feel the nerves are definitely going to be pitching in, and you need to control your temperament. The composure needs to be set. Such a huge stage requires for all this act. So I feel again all these players have equally shown potent and quality on the pitch, just like Klopp's Liverpool have. So I don't think we should speculate or we should raise any doubt about Bayern's inclusion in the title race. I feel both teams hold equal capacity, as I've told you in the first statement. So yeah, there's nothing more to add to that.
But it's just I feel like it's just the manner of the defeats, that they've imposed on their oppositions. you look at Liverpool. I mean, we're going to talk about AC Milan in a bit, but
Yep.
they fielded a second string side. Obviously, like, Mane, Salah, and Allison were still there in the team.
Yep.
But with the even with the manner that the second string performed against a Milan side who was at the strongest, right?
Yep.
You just feel that this is probably the year that Liverpool might just do it because I mean again do it because they already won it like a couple of years ago.
Yep.
You just see that performance and the way that youngsters are performing, youngsters are responding when they get a game like this. Probably a dead rubber for at least Liverpool fans, right? Because you know that you've qualified, and I'm sitting here like, yeah, why are they playing Mane and Salah? Because I mean, get them some rest. But I guess like we talked about about that last week and offline as well, that
Yeah.
you want that winning momentum and winning mentality in the team, and that's why you keep on playing your best players every game. You don't rest them. Same goes with Bayern Munich as well. I mean, they knew that they are in the round of 16. They still fielded they still fielded their best possible 11 against a Barcelona side who were playing for their place in the competition. And you think the the amount of domination that they had in the game, you just feel like man, Bayern Munich are probably at a very different level, and probably Barcelona are not probably the best team to talk about that, but they were
Yeah.
you know the second best team in the group were Benfica, and they still I think they had a really good they really good had a really good game
Yep.
at the Allianz Arena, right? When Bayern Munich defeated 4-2 Benfica
Yep.
or 4-0, I think.
Yep.
I really think Bayern Munich and Liverpool are the team to beat this season.
True. I think they hold enough capacity to maybe take out either of these teams. You never know which team
Yeah.
will show up on their day. But I still feel if you talk about Liverpool, to be honest, the way they've recruited the talents from other clubs and the way they've actually brought in younger players from the academy as well. The inclusion of these five players in last night's match was massive. I feel out of all the young prospects who played in the last group stage of the Champions League, I feel Liverpool performed the best, be it United, be it Chelsea, be it any other club, be it West Ham for that matter, who played in Europa. Um, yeah, their prospects showed up big time. Nico Williams and Tylen Mortons, he showed up big time. Both players were very consistent. Couple of key passes from them. They were really sturdy on the ball, off the ball. They were showing good mobility and movement. So I feel, yeah, Liverpool really showed up big time, and they've actually made a mark with Divock Origi's goal as well. And he showed up massively. I've never seen Origi play in quite some time the way he played in the Champions League fixture.
Yeah.
This just raises hopes for Liverpool fans, knowing that okay, we have a squad player who we can rely on. So yeah, I think again you've already answered the question where you talk about Sadio Mane and Mohamed Salah being included in the team. That's just to induce more maturity and more confidence in other younger players who are playing besides them. So yeah, all in all, I think looking at again, we as a team, Liverpool as a team are very strong mentally, which is
Mhm.
where we make even the youngest, the most average players look really good. Look at Nat Phillips; he turned up big as well. That lad is a guy from, I mean, he came in from Swansea. He was nothing. His valuation was at 1 million. Um, Klopp turned him into one of the most above average centre halves. And I don't think other players, there are so many players around, there might be around 10, 15 more players in the Premier League who never got the opportunity to work under such a great manager that they never grew to their full potential. So I feel Nat Phillips is definitely up for a transfer in the coming Jan transfer window as well. His valuation is at 12 million, but I feel if what is the guy's name? Kurt Zuma can
Mhm.
get in West Ham for 30 million. I definitely feel Nat Phillips should get in for 24, 25 million to another club. So yeah, I think Liverpool have enough guns to fire, and yeah, I think Liverpool may have better chances than Bayern Munich, but I wouldn't undermine or I wouldn't write them off.
Yeah, I think you're totally spot on because I mean anything can happen, right? In the next 2 months, you never know. Anything
Yeah,
can happen in these competitions. Let's talk about the Liverpool group first, and then we'll go back to the Bayern group as well. Do you really think that Atletico actually deserved to go into the knockout rounds? I certainly did not think so, because the way their football is been playing at the moment, I really feel that they should have been playing in the 80s, because I feel like they would have been very, very, very successful being playing that kind of football. I was reading a stat this morning. So in all of the games that were played on Tuesday, the ball in play was about 59 to 61 minutes, right? For Atletico's match, the ball in play was 50 minutes. That's how huge a difference was.
Yeah.
So I mean, obviously, it was a street fight in that game. Obviously, like anything that was happening was just turning out to be a fight. And I mean, I'm not taking anything away from Simeone, because I guess that's how he's been playing for the last 6-7 years,
For sure.
since he's been at Atletico. But I guess he needs to change his mentality. I don't know. I mean, he has the squad to go and actually put on performances that a real big Spanish giant should do, but they don't. They just sit back and they play the same exact way that they've been playing for the last 6-7 years. I don't know why he does that, and I really feel bad for the likes of Porto and AC Milan, because I really think that they had the chance to go into the round of 16 and possibly have a better chance of actually eliminating someone in the round of 16. Right now, at the moment, the way Atletico are playing, and if they continue to play with the same style in the next 2 months or whoever they're drawn against, I don't see anything but a defeat for them.
Um, Look, we can't really question how the managers, tactics are being deployed on the pitch, because this is the same team who, with the same negative football, went and defeated Liverpool post the 90-minute mark, where Liverpool were leading by 3 goals to nil. Um, this is the same team who actually defeated Chelsea as well, with the same negative approach of football, of defending behind and creating a low block. But again, this team also tried playing attacking football last season. They went in with a possession-based model, which worked out well in their favor. But I still feel Diego Simeone, the kind of personality that he is, he would rather defend better than attack, because we've seen how Atletico leaves loads of gaps and spaces. Uh, that comes down to the lack of consistency in these players. We saw Antoine Griezmann turning up big last night as well, but he's not been that consistent, right? For Barcelona. Um, I'm sorry, I forgot the name of the player. I spoke about Griezmann, but yeah, I
Yeah.
think Atletico, like Luis Suarez, he's turned up big for both clubs, Barcelona and Atletico as well. But again, they sustained injuries. Yannick Carrasco got a red card. Um, so yeah, so more so, whatever it was, I think even the referee wasn't. He was a little biased in his opinions, I felt. On the pitch, I just felt so many fouls and so many tackles were there that the decisions for giving red cards to the opposition team, 2 red cards, wasn't really justified. I felt it was more of a yellow card tackle. Um, but yeah, I think the luck is on Diego's side, and I think if he resorts to the same tactics, you never know. They might go till the quarterfinals or the semifinals again.
Yeah, I mean, they might get lucky, right, with the draws as well. I don't think that there are any other. I mean, probably a Juventus side might be the best possible opponent at the moment, given the struggles that Juventus have had.
Yeah,
But let's see, let's see how Atletico do in this upcoming competition. Before we do proceed further, make sure, if you haven't subscribed to the Late Winner Show, please make sure that you subscribe to the Late Winner Show. Give us a like as well. It definitely helps us with the algorithm, and promotes it. So yeah, do that if you've already not done. But let's move forward. Let's talk about Barcelona. Man, Barcelona are probably at the lowest point possible. I guess they are in the Europa League now, confirmed. And for me, Europa League is also now becoming a competition to watch next year, right? Because I guess Dortmund are going to be playing, West Ham are going to be playing, Napoli are in that competition,
yeah,
Dortmund are in that competition. So I guess there are reasonable good teams, in the Europa League as well. And people are talking about maybe Barcelona's priority is the Europa League at the moment, because that's how bad they are. That's how bad they are. And I
Yeah.
guess the last time that Barcelona were in a Europa League or were knocked out in the Champions League were 2000, 2001. The last
Yeah.
time they played in a Europa League was 2003, 2004, and 2004 is when Messi arrived, and that's that's all I need to say.
Yeah.
So now he's gone. So now they're back into the Europa League, but they've been an utter mess. I mean, I guess I did a preview show and I invited, I think his name was Cristiano Oliveira, who was a Benfica fan, and I'll leave the
Yeah.
links in the description below if anyone wants to, listen to some Benfica podcasts. He and I were saying that this is possibly the best time to
Yeah.
play Barcelona, and it turned out to be right. I mean, when they went to Benfica, I think they were a mess. It never looked like that they were going to win that game. They came back to Camp Nou with the new manager Xavi. I don't think they were anyhow threatening. It was more like I think Seferovic was the person who missed the game,
Yeah.
who missed the game winner. At the last minute of the game, he
Yeah.
could have won it and he could have probably just settled it at that time. But Barcelona were given a chance, and they were like, okay, yeah, maybe we do have a chance to defeat Bayern Munich. And Xavi obviously came back after that game. Was like, yeah, we're going to defeat Bayern Munich and all that stuff. I was like, yeah, this is all just utter shit of nonsense that he's speaking. Even if on the weekend you saw against Betis, he rested
Yeah.
all of his players. I don't know
True.
what he did because you're struggling in the league as well. Do you really want to play in Europa Conference League next season? Because if you look at La Liga, it's getting tougher as hell for
Yeah.
Barcelona to make it to top four. I guess Real, Atletico, Betis, Sociedad is playing really really well. Sevilla is there. It's getting tough as hell to qualify for Champions League given the way that Barcelona have been playing this season.
Yeah.
What have you made up until now for Barcelona? Obviously, they're in the Europa League, and we're not going to talk about Europa League here. But what have you made of their competition, of their performances in the competition, and so far?
Again, they as a team have started playing, possession-based football again with Xavi trying to manage them. But you need to see how the manager is also deploying his tactics on the pitch. That's probably not resonating well with players like De Jong or even Sergio Dest, who's been giving in very consistent performances as of late. Um, Again, the goals that they're conceding are somewhat not acceptable. But I still feel as a team, they're not showing enough vigor and desire, or hunger for that matter, to be scoring more goals. I feel the opportunities that they get in hand, they're not converting them at all. This is where I think they have better opportunities with maybe the academy players and prospects stepping in. But I highly doubt that in the coming season or two, Barcelona will step up to the rank that they always held in high regards. I still feel that when you talk about Champions League, Barcelona would any day would love to win the Champions League over the La Liga because Barcelona is known for the European stride that they've always shown with the likes of Leo Messi, Xavi. They've showed up big time for the club. So I feel a person who has such a high character, disciplined aura is definitely going to try better, to rest his players for the Champions League rather than the league itself. Because he probably felt that it's just Real but Betis, but he probably underestimated them too much that they lost the match again 1-0. Even though I felt they were the more dominating team in that match too, I watched that match as well. Um, but I think, yeah, hard luck to them because they had more chances on target against Bayern Munich as well. So yeah, I think still they were symbolic. They couldn't turn up big at all. There was no momentum when they had to take the chances in those crucial moments. The momentum was missing. The focus was out of sorts, and it's just sad how they're performing now.
What are your prospects about them in the Europa League? Do you think that they can defeat and in the bigger teams over there as well? Because there are really good teams in the Europa League this season, and given the way the Barcelona have been playing, I don't see them winning the Europa League as well.
No, I think teams like Leicester who have lost their patience, I would say, because I would say poor guys. They've actually had so much composure in the past couple of seasons that they have been dwindling in the fourth and fifth position in the league itself. It's probably taken a toll on them that Brendan Rodgers is a top class manager, but they're not able to deliver the top class results towards the end of the season, be it European competition, be it the English Premier League. I still feel West Ham, for that matter, hold more potential in terms of taking a team like Barcelona out. Definitely they can. With the kind of players that they have, Mikel Antonio, Pablo Fornals, Gerard Bowen, these top three are definitely, they hold enough pace and link up play between them and more chemistry, better chemistry than the front three of Barcelona, who've been very inconsistent
Yeah,
to take out a team of such a high prestige.
yeah.
Um,
I mean,
Moreover,
it would be it would definitely be a good night for the West Ham fans at the London Stadium, right? With all the bubbles and everything, and Barcelona, coming into their stadium for probably I don't know, the first time, I guess. I don't think West Ham have ever played in the top European competition ever. But I guess
for sure.
that'll be a fun night to be in, right?
For sure. But moreover, adding to your point, I feel when we talk about the midfield, I feel Sergio Busquets, again, a veteran of the game, is still a commanding presence in the game. But I still feel there's Declan Rice and Thomas Suchek, who have a much better, performance in the last couple of seasons. So who are going to take them out? Who is going to take the aerial prowess, the control of the aerial, whatever, the towering headers and all the, the uh, backstreet dirtiness, whatever the lineup is. They still have a lot of control defensively. Also, West Ham. They've taken out teams like City, Chelsea, Liverpool this season. They defeated them.
Even United in the League
Even
Cup.
United, yeah. So what do Barcelona stand in front of them? Nothing. They have no chance at all.
Yeah, I think you're spot on, because yeah, I think Barcelona definitely are in a utter mess, as I say. Um, but I don't see, even with a manager change right now, it's going to take at least a couple of seasons before they can actually come back and start probably performing in these major competitions.
Yeah,
Because it's hard for me to sit here and tell them and say that, yeah, they're going to be back next season, because I guess, like, it's not only the performances that are going to happen on the pitch. There are performances that are happening off the pitch, and those are not right. I mean, the debt that we all know that Barcelona are in, it's going to take a long while to get that debt away, and maybe start making some money. I still see, I heard this rumor that maybe Barcelona are going for Mo Salah next season. I don't
but
know how that deal
that's just a
might
rumor.
even. Yeah, I don't know
Look,
even how that deal might get approved. It just, I don't see that happening in any way, shape, or form. But
unless
let's
we
move
don't,
away.
unless Liverpool don't win one of the trophies, then I'm sure one of the star-studded players would love to go and depart to a club like Real Madrid. But I don't see them going to Barcelona, to be honest, because Salah and Mane are players who prefer Real Madrid over Barcelona, for that
Yeah,
matter.
yeah. Let's talk about the Real Madrid group. So Real Madrid, Inter, FC Sheriff, and Shakhtar,
Yeah,
who is also, I have a very deep emotional connection with Shakhtar as well. But I mean, they had like a really, really bad, poor competition. But the way Real started, the season in La Liga and even in the Champions League, there was a very narrow win against Inter in the last minute. I think Ferland Mendy, I think, scored that goal. And then they lost against FC Sheriff in the second match day, and then that's the time I think they started coming back. I think
yeah.
they're already on
They
a
won
12
all
game.
matches after that.
Yeah, I think they're already like 11 game or 12 game unbeaten run already.
Yeah,
But there's still very, very gaping holes that you can see in that Real Madrid side. I mean, Thibaut Courtois has probably been the player of the season for me, even though Vinicius and Benzema that partnership is like mind-boggling for me. But Thibaut Courtois has actually been saving a lot of the goals that are being shot at by the oppositions. That obviously says that the defense is not actually up to par, because they're conceding so many shots. But talking about the defense, David Alaba. I mean, man, he's become into this player that he had been replaced, by Sergio Ramos, or he had replaced Sergio Ramos. But it feels like he's been already been playing here for last 10, 12 years. I don't
Yeah,
know. He's already been settled so well into the
yeah,
competition, into the team, that you just feel that, how can Real Madrid sustain this level. It
yeah,
just that's the only worry that I have. They keep on doing that week after week. Vinicius, who I hated him until last season because he was so shambolic in front of goal, but now look at him. He's just so clinical. He's becoming that clinical, and I keep saying that every time I watch a game of Real Madrid on the TV, and I was like, man,
hmm,
I don't have any hopes from Neymar, but I have hopes from you that you could probably deliver something in the
hmm,
FIFA World Cup next year, right?
yeah.
But what have you made of Real Madrid's performances, and do you think that they should be considered as serious title contenders for the Champions League?
I think Real Madrid, for the form that they've shown this season as well as the last, I feel Karim Benzema is anyways a legend, downright a legend. Vinicius Junior has had more support in terms of getting more players around him to link up. Again, this was something which I was noticing in the last couple of games. They've also started centering around Vinicius Junior a lot in different phases of the game, which is where I feel he's definitely going to be one of the most rising stars ahead. Probably we're going to get glimpses of him even in the Premier League, maybe when he's 28, 29, but not anytime soon. Again, one of the other defenders who caught my eye, again, Carvalho has anyways been, again, the legend that they've always wanted him to be. The most senior player in the team, along with Casemiro and Modric, who have actually been they've been maintaining their ranks. They've been giving in the performances. 𝗕𝗲𝗏, out of all the defenders, I've had a great eye on him. He's one of the most aerially controlling defenders I've seen in the La Liga. He's been actually been helping them take out teams out of who are trying to counter press on them, or they're trying to attack with them on the ball. Um, so yeah, I think even 𝗕𝗲𝗏𝗕𝗏, for that matter, he's had a good season. I think he's saved around 16 shots in total. Um, but yeah, I think I still feel that I wouldn't really judge Thibaut Courtois on the basis of one season, because in the last couple of seasons he's not been that great either. So coming down to Real Madrid as a team, they're very cohesive on their day, but Tony Cruz is well backing them up. But I still feel in the Champions League you never know, and I just have this. This is my gut that says that they will definitely get knocked out. I don't see them winning the Champions League at all. I don't see them. It's going to be an English club again. I'm telling you, it's definitely going to be an English club.
Okay, I think definitely. I completely agree with your point also, because the way English teams have been dominating for the last 3 seasons, I would say 3 or 4 seasons in Europe, and it's not only the Champions League. It's been in the Europa League as well. I think we've already had three all English ties in both of the competitions in last 3 years. So that
Yeah,
obviously says a lot. And we had that period where the Spanish teams dominated with Real Madrid, Barcelona for that 6 to 7 year period when Ronaldo, Messi were probably at the peak.
yeah.
What did you think? What did you think about Inter Milan? I think they. I feel like Serie A has been at the lowest point possible. Inter Milan did not have a really good group stage, even though they qualified as a round of 16, as a second position. They can only be lucky and maybe get someone. I don't think anyone. Oh, they can't. Oh, I mean, sorry. I'm just looking at the tables, but they cannot get Juventus because they play in the same league. So if any of the top teams that are any of the first place teams that are there, I think any one of them they get. I think they get knocked out in the round of 16 as well. But what do you think? What do you make of Inter Milan and their hopes and their hopes in the competition?
Well, I have a very special admiration for Inter Milan, to be honest, because I like the midline, their defenders as well. Their midline oozes of a lot of maturity and confidence, and also a lot of control in the middle. They know how to hold up well. The problem is that again they're not consistent enough, or maybe they don't have enough pace as much as other teams do. If you look at their players, they have hardly two or three players who are very pacey. Compare them to teams like Real Madrid, compare them to City. All players are pacey. Compare them to other big clubs like Liverpool and all that. Even they're actually behind Milan in the league Serie A itself. And
Yep.
the way Milan have been playing in the Champions League, I think they were lucky to even get whatever wins they got. And last night was again a harsh statement with Zlatan being subdued by the likes of 𝗕𝗏𝗏𝗕𝗏𝗏 completely, had no control in the game. I personally am a big fan of Zlatan, but I think at the age of 40, it's high time you should not be considered in starting 11 for Champions League fixtures because you don't hold enough to give in enough for a team of this stature. They've got other players. I don't know why would you prefer Zlatan in that position when you have
I
other
think I
younger
mean
players.
Giroud is still injured, so that's why he's been preferred over there at the
Whatever
moment.
it is, they have a couple of other strikers also. I still feel he had a very dismal game. They were Liverpool had so many opportunities to score against them. Overall, as a team as well, they were laying in many gaps. They were operating on a high line, which again, if you are trying to operate on a high line in different phases against Liverpool, you are bound to get hit on a transition. Where we didn't manage scoring a goal against them in that transition, but at least we showed that they are prone to counter pressing on a high line.
Yeah, I think it's just the you can see the level between the leagues, right?
Yep.
You Inter Milan's Napoli and who's the other one? AC Milan. They're probably the title races in the Scudetto as well, probably this season, and they're going to be. But it just shows the level of of competition in Serie A at this moment, and the level of competition that is there in the Champions League. I mean, if you're not been able to defeat the likes of Porto, I think you can definitely say that the level of Serie A is definitely at a very lower point, and that's why you see a competition in for the Scudetto, but not in the in these elite competitions where these players, because I've been I was hoping for a much better performance from these Italian sides. You look at Napoli, even in the Europa League, they've not been performing really well.
Yeah,
Even
they haven't.
they I think yeah they I think they finished second
Yeah,
behind, yeah, right. So I don't remember who was the first in that group. I think Sparta Praha or something. Uh, that they played against. So I yeah, again, I don't think Inter Milan or don't have I don't think they have a chance to go
they don't
further,
have a chance.
and they don't have a chance to go further than the round of 16. Maybe it's
Maybe
just
quarters.
the team that they get draw against. Maybe they're injury prone or they just don't have the night. It's not the Champions League is exciting. It's because of its two-legged affair, right? And I
Yeah,
don't see Inter Milan being defeated or getting them getting actually defeated by the likes of Bayern Munich or Liverpool or
for sure.
whoever they get drawn against. I forgot that I did not actually speak about Chelsea.
Yep.
I mean, they've been recently having a blip. Uh, some might say that they should have easily finished, top of the group, which I agree with, because given the performance that Juventus, or given the season that Juventus are having, I think they should have beaten both of the legs to Juventus, so that this game might have just been a dead rubber. But instead, they lost, at Juventus, and then they obviously hammered Juventus at their own patch.
Yeah.
But man, what have you made of this Chelsea season? I know we've already talked about this in a previous podcast as well, but is it actually a blip, or do you think that this is something that's again this is something that's been already coming, and we're just now seeing the performances from them?
Look, how I've assessed Chelsea over the past couple of seasons is that when they enter a blip, like you said, when they hit a rut, is the time when their performances start dipping because of lack of confidence and focus. This is where I feel um, this is not the right stage to judge them on the basis of two games where the likes of Thiago Silva and Rudiger weren't even playing. It was Christensen, who's more of an attacking centre half and not even a more. I don't like the way he defends. And
Yep.
the goal that they conceded, they shouldn't have conceded those goals at all. They should have been more deeper. I felt the first goal they conceded. The second goal conceded again, that was more of, why don't you attack the player? Why don't you go attack the ball? You need more players who are actually going to hit the ball or the player. Just get a yellow card, take one for the team. They weren't doing that last night. Um, Moreover, I felt, but they turned up big time in the attacking department, in the goal scoring department. They were totally, I felt they were flawless the way they scored, the way Timo Werner scored those two goals. It was amazing. I was actually shocked that Chelsea are now starting to score as well. So I feel, I looked at how the match fit turned out to be. Lukaku was comparatively much better than what he's been for Chelsea as of late. His movement off the ball, offensively and defensively, was very mobile. He was going into
Mhm.
deeper positions to get into the pressing regime, to get into the passing regime, to get involved in the passing regime, because he's not as pacey as other players are. But we need to notice a thing here, that he's not a targetsman. If he was a targetsman, he wouldn't be getting into deeper positions and trying to get out of the press, or trying to, um, be a little agile. He's more of a player what we saw at United. The reason why he wasn't faring well at United was because he weighed more than what he should have weighed ideally. And even now, for that matter, physically he's inept to the gameplay. But it's just a matter of time and chance. Thomas Tuchel has been at Chelsea. He won them the Champions League. Took over from Lampard when he left, whilst the group stages were happening. Uh, Lukaku has been over since 2.5 months. He's been injured for a month. I still feel we need to wait a bit. We need to see if he actually fits the system. I think he will fit the system. There shouldn't be a problem. When you have a 97.5 million signing, you are bound to make him play regularly, and you are bound to make him play alongside Mason Mount, because he's linking up really well with him. But it was a very symbolic performance from Hudson-Odoi, from Christian Pulisic. I was expecting better performances from them. Um, Chelsea lack midfield cohesion. They lack midfield control without Kante, without Jorginho, who was injured, without Ruben Loftus-Cheek. These midfielders are somewhat not fit enough to play for them right now. I still feel they should maybe call back Billy Gilmore from the loan. That is, he's at Norwich right now, and I feel they should maybe induce a signing like who's on the decline, maybe, who can actually take this opportunity to sit on the bench and maybe show up like 𝗕𝗏𝗪 Origi or Minamino shows up for Liverpool. Someone like Lucas Torreira, or other players, and there are so many other players who I have my eye on.
Mhm.
Um, but they need a commanding center midfielder player. I feel Kante is on the decline as well. He's turned 32. How many more years can you take out of a midfielder? Moreover, Chelsea have a policy of not renewing a contract for more than a year for a player who is above 30. So I fail to understand from where are they going to get in the likes of more star players. Kovacic is sidelined as well. So left back position is totally prone. Chilwell is sidelined. Alonso, he cannot play in that position defensively. I'm sorry. He is bound to leak in many goals and gap.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
they tried to go with Saul.
So
Yeah.
yeah, but sorry, but Sportswire is saying actually Werner Lukaku combination is good, and I actually agree with that.
Yep.
That Werner Lukaku combination is actually trying working out to be very good, but I still can't get over the fact that most of the Chelsea goals come from their defensive, players, and
Yeah. But this was the case
the
last season
the
too. This was
no,
the
that's
case
and
last
that's
season too.
and I think that's on the coach, and I think that's definitely on Tuchel. That why is he not? If he signed £100 million, you said it, yeah, right? That if you get a £100 million player, you are bound to play him every minute. Not every minute, but every game. You're bound to make sure that everything flows through him. But
Uh,
sorry, go ahead.
no, I'm sorry. I was, yeah. Go on, go on. I'll revert back to one of his comments. He says we tried that with Saul too. Does Saul have any Premier League experience? He doesn't have any Premier League experience. How can you expect a player of his stature, who was a star player, commanding center midfielder for Atletico, to perform at the same level for Chelsea? Did you see the matches that he's been playing in? He doesn't even know. He has no reading of the game. He is caught out in positions where he is letting the opposition get onto him and surpass him, take the ball just besides him. I mean, it's just kind of, it's funny how people were laughing at Timo Werner as well. But I always knew, you always knew that He's going to show up big time one day, and he is trying to give in those performances. He definitely draws out players easily. He draws out defenders easily. Um, there's no doubt about that. So I think we just need to give in more time to players like Saul and even Lukaku for that matter. Saul is anyways on loan. I think he's bound to go back. But what I mean is you need to get in a player, maybe a bench warmer or someone who can fill in the ranks for Chelsea when they need, that
Yeah,
presence in the
I mean
midfield.
that's for sure. I mean, you cannot expect a player to play in 2 games and you just show him and he shows his class, right? It rarely happens. If you've been playing in the other leagues, Premier League is definitely a different beast. You cannot come into the league and just show your class in the very first game.
Yeah,
It doesn't work like that totally. But what I was saying about like Werner and Lukaku, right? I mean, I think the combination is great, but the fact that I don't like that most of the goals or most of the attacking things are coming from their fullbacks and the defensive players, it says a lot about the coach that he's not been able to integrate Lukaku into the team. I can see that when the fullbacks are actually even running, they don't even pass the ball to Lukaku. They don't. With the
but
two-man system,
yeah,
he tried that. He tried that against City. He tried that, and it didn't work out. And you know what I'm talking about. But it didn't work out for Tuchel, and that's the reason that they lost. Right? If you keep continuing this, and we're talking about Zenit Saint Petersburg. We're not talking about a team who, if they play this kind of system in the Premier League, it
yeah,
is not going to work out for them. I can definitely confirm that.
yeah,
It's very hard. It's very hard for Chelsea because the way their fullbacks press and the way and the fullbacks that they have, they actually attack that much that the strikers cannot get involved in that game a lot. You have to figure out a way. You have to figure out a way where where Werner and Lukaku both play in the same team and tier up defenses because I was I sat here and told to every Chelsea fan that Timo Werner is probably the worst signing last season. But if you give him the time, then yes, it will work out. And that I still feel that maybe Tuchel is not the one. I still feel Tuchel is not the one who's getting the best out of him. It's because Hansi Flick is in that Germany team. He's getting something into him that he's been able to play. He's been able to play this kind of football. I really feel that.
right.
I don't think it's all because of Tuchel and Werner being in the Premier League and Werner being in the Premier League for last 1 year and now he's showing his true colors.
Right.
I totally don't buy that. Totally don't buy that.
But I really want to talk to your friend Sportsfire here because he says that the system is a wingback system. You have 5-minute attack every single time, which means the inside three are restricted. How are the inside three restricted when you have wingbacks pushing up down the flanks every single game? Look at Liverpool, look at City. What are they doing? They're playing it with inverted fullbacks as well. What is Reece James doing? He's getting into center positions. It depends on the rotation that the players are going in with. It doesn't depend on what system you're playing. Again, these systems are very hybrid, man. They are fluctuating. They're not playing in a 4-4-2 system where there are two front traditional strikers and they're going in ahead. This requires rotation. Why was Havertz preferred over Lukaku or Werner in a couple of games? Because he fits in the proper false nine position. He was going into the same stride at Leverkusen as well.
Yep.
He has missed so
Leipzig.
many sitters for Chelsea. He has missed so many sitters for Chelsea, but his positioning was inept to the system that TT had laid out for these guys. And the way Chelsea defend is they prefer the center midfielders staying in behind, probably Jorginho or the other center midfielder. They stay in front. They try to screen the defense, right? Even they like playing on a high line. It's Chelsea, City, Liverpool, all these three teams. They almost play in a similar system. It's the difference is it comes down to how the tactics are laid out. But the system is entirely the same. So I don't see any difference where Chelsea are going in with another different on a
Yeah.
different tangent or something like that. So I don't
Yeah.
understand what this guy is saying.
I would request Sportsbar definitely hit us like man like DM us DM
Yeah,
me the
sure. I
link in the
think
show. Yeah, we'll be
it'll be nice
we'll
for
love to
him to
have
come
you.
in and
Yeah,
lay
we'll
out
love
his
to have you on the
what he
show and
meant.
talk about Chelsea. Like we can have a special
I
episode
don't
on just
expect
Chelsea.
ZH to
Yeah,
attack from the wings. ZH is anyways not that pacey a player that you would expect him to overlap someone you would expect him to get into an inverted position. You can expect him to get into a number 10 hybrid position and try to create something from there. That is what the poor lad does. He's
Yeah,
been giving in those performances from the bench. Why? Because he's been giving in those performances because he's crossing inverted, giving in his inverted crosses from that position also. He doesn't create any overlap. He gets into central positions.
yeah,
And Callum Hudson-Odoi, anyways, you can't complain in that department. That lad has been trying to service a lot. Um, just because his servicing is not getting converted, I don't blame him. In the last match, he didn't perform well. Doesn't mean that he's not been consistent. I especially have a huge liking for Callum Hudson-Odoi. He's very pacey. He can take out defenses like anything.
defense.
When
Yeah,
you have Reece James and Callum Hudson-Odoi on the right flank, you don't need to worry about anything, to be honest. So
yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, we're not going to make this Champions League discussion a Chelsea Champions League podcast, but let's move forward.
this is a
Uh,
no-brainer here.
No, no. I mean, it's. I'm not gonna sit here and comment on every on every player and every team. But I guess everyone has their opinions, and I'm okay with that. Like, yeah, I
Hmm.
don't disagree with anything. It's fine. I have my opinions. You have my opinions. You have your opinions, and Sportsfire
Hmm.
has their own opinions.
No, I
But
don't care about that. But whatever
yeah,
flank he plays
yeah,
on, man, the point is
yeah,
that you are trying to put in points where he's being inconsistent. I don't get his point at all. Like, why would you deem his as or write him off as a player who's not good enough? Are you kidding me? Like, bring Callum Hudson-Odoi to Liverpool. We'll show you what a great talent he is. Bring Christian Pulisic to Liverpool. We'll show you what a 90-minute player is. These players deserve more time, and it just comes down to how a manager is using them.
yeah. I mean, I'm not going to get into this false nine discussion because I have a huge argument with someone else, anyways, going on. But
Even if
but
he's
let's
not
move. But
a,
let's
even if
but
he's
let's
not a, even if
no, no,
he's
let's
not a,
let's move.
let,
Let's
let me
let's
let
move
me
forward.
answer him one last time. Even if he's not your first starter or your first preferred number 9 player, he still had better positioning, better chances to score goals than Lukaku has had till now. And I'm
Yeah,
not blaming Lukaku for that, but you can't write off Havertz like that. Havertz has had good games where he could have scored goals, he could have made a better mark. And I don't think you should doubt Havertz now because I don't think he has
yeah,
any problem, man, in the way he's positioned himself. He's a very uh, quick player. He knows how to grasp onto the managerial tactics, and he changes his tactics with each and every game stepping in. So I don't think um, Havertz is a problem when it comes down to the false nine positioning.
yeah. Let's move forward. And the last team that I wanted to talk about is the Lille group. So Lille, Sevilla, Salzburg, and Wolfsburg. I guess Wolfsburg obviously got eliminated in eliminated from the competition. They
Yeah,
didn't, they didn't they didn't fall down in any other competition. But Lille qualified as the top seeded team. I was very surprised based on the start that they had for the season, man. And I was really not hoping, for them to even qualify for the Europa League. I had them as fourth in the competition, in the
yeah.
group. But Lille and actually RB Salzburg, actually, they surprised me. What have you? I don't know if you followed a lot of Austrian Bundesliga, but this is the child team, right? What RB Leipzig has. RB Leipzig is the parent team. They have a
Yep.
lot of they have a lot of good development plans that they have in that Austrian Bundesliga in RB Salzburg. Great development plan, great players, and I guess like Karim Adeyemi, who's been actually linked with Liverpool as well. He's been good. What have you made of that particular group? Do you think Salzburg does have that they have a capacity to defeat or cause a surprise in this knockout rounds?
I think Red Bull have the same brand echoing through and through. I think be it Leipzig, be it New York Red Bulls, be it any Red Bull team, they always want their teams to attack. They want them to play good football. They don't want them to play pragmatic football at all, which is where I think Salzburg have enough chances because the kind of group it was unaccounted for. You can't predict which team will turn out to be the winner when you have four underdogs in the same group. So I think this is the same group, right?
Yes.
Where yeah, so I have no comments on that because uh, I have not seen any group game of theirs, but I have seen Wolfsburg playing in a couple of league games. So yeah, that's all I have for them. But I've seen how Salzburg have played under Jesse Marsch. Good
Yes.
football, amazing football, but poor guy got sacked. Sorry, he was Leipzig's manager.
He is a Leipzig, but yeah, he was promoted from RB
Salzburg.
Salzburg last
Yeah,
this
yeah,
season. Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I guess we will. I know like you have something, so we'll let you go and we'll close this podcast out. But thanks Uday for joining again onto the late winter show, and we'll definitely
sorry for sorry for being a little rude and disruptive, because when I think there is a clash of opinions in football, I think people are bound to talk out loud.
that's totally fine. We love opinions from our viewers as well. So that's definitely good. Keep posting your comments, even if you have after this. Please make sure that you comment on our channel.
For sure, I'm
But
gonna do.
Uday, thank you so much for coming onto the channel, Late Winner Show. We'll do
Yeah.
this again sometime very very soon, and I'll see you. Good night.
Good night. And don't